My self-centered father decided to shower an extravagant present on his favorite son, while I was the one keeping our family company alive, so I finally walked out. Now they're watching the whole thing fall apart without me. I'm a 34-year-old guy who poured 15 years of my life into my dad's plumbing business, Taylor & Sons Plumbing. The Sons, in the name, was supposed to mean me and my younger brother Matt, who's 31. In reality, it always felt more like Taylor and his precious prince, while I carried the actual load. Let me give you the full background. Dad started the company roughly 30 years ago. Classic small business origin story. One man, one van, a lot of hustle. Today we have 15 licensed plumbers and 3 administrative staff, making us one of the biggest plumbing outfits in our area. I'm not exaggerating when I say the real expansion happened after I came on board. Right after high school, I went straight into a 4-year business administration program. Matt, on the other hand, barely graduated high school and then took 6 years to finish a 2-year community college degree. While I was buried in textbooks and exams, he was busy flexing for mirror selfies and closing down bars. The moment I graduated, I came home and joined the family company. Dad made it clear I had to earn my stripes from the ground up. So for 3 solid years, I was the helper, snaking drains, crawling through spider-infested crawl spaces, dealing with the nastiest jobs imaginable. I got it, you can't manage tradesmen if you've never turned a wrench yourself. I climbed the ladder the hard way, passed the brutal master plumber exam, learned every aspect of dispatching, parts ordering, and all the invisible tasks that actually keep a service company profitable. For years, I regularly put in 60-plus hour weeks, skipped weddings for midnight emergency calls, and basically gave up dating because I had 0 free time. 5 years ago, I was finally made operations manager. That's when I rolled out everything I'd been planning for years. Digital dispatching, real inventory control, customer follow-up protocols. Our online reviews shot from 3.5 to 4.8 stars and revenue grew 40% in just 2 years. For once, Dad actually seemed proud. Then Matt, who had been bouncing between bar jobs and figuring himself out, suddenly decided he wanted a piece of the family empire. The guy who once asked if PVC stood for pretty valuable copper and thought a P-trap was for trapping raccoons. Dad, though, he was ecstatic. His golden child was finally interested. Dad created a fancy title for him, something like Client Relations Director, and put him on almost the same salary I was earning after more than a decade of grinding. Matt got the big corner office with the nice view, while I stayed in the tiny room next to the bathroom that smelled like bleach. Matt's actual duties: taking clients to steak lunches, posting filtered photos on the company Instagram, and occasionally appearing on job sites to take credit in pictures. He'd stroll in around 10, disappear for 2-hour client meetings that were obviously just long lunches, and bounce by 4 to beat traffic. In every single staff meeting, Dad would gush about the tiny accounts Matt supposedly brought in, while completely ignoring the fact that I had just saved the company $50,000 a year by redesigning the invoicing process. I became invisible. One time I spent weeks preparing the most important commercial bid we'd ever attempted. I pulled an all-nighter to make the numbers perfect. Presentation day comes, Dad insists on bringing Matt along for moral support. Matt, still half hungover, spent half the meeting running to the restroom and then referred to the client's new facility as that tall building with the logo on it. We still won the job because my proposal was bulletproof. On the way home, Dad couldn't stop raving about how Matt's vibe sealed the deal. My part, Dad called it helpful support, like I was an intern who fetched coffee. Mom was zero help. Whenever I tried to vent, she'd give me that sad little smile and say things like, "You and your brother are just wired differently," or "Not everyone is as serious as you are," as if being reliable was some kind of character flaw. Then one afternoon, I accidentally overheard Dad and Matt talking in his office. Door cracked open just enough. Dad was going on about succession plans. "When you take the reins, son," asking Matt if he wanted to start sitting in on the financial reviews. My name never came up, not once, not even as someone who could help with the books. The company I had literally built with my own hands, and I wasn't even an afterthought. I swallowed it and kept working. 9 months ago, our longtime admin quit for a better opportunity. Dad decided we needed someone with real office management experience because the company had grown so much. That's when Julie walked in, 29 years old, total professional. Confident walk, dark hair always in a neat bun, piercing green eyes that saw through nonsense instantly. Her resume was flawless. Business degree, years managing larger offices, certified in multiple accounting platforms. Dad hired her before she even left the conference room. Week 1, she completely reorganized our filing disaster. Week 2, she found and collected $20,000 in invoices we'd written off. Week 3, she finally convinced Dad to buy the dispatching software I'd been begging for since 2019. I was smitten immediately. We started having lunch together in the break room, first talking shop, then discovering we loved the same true crime podcasts and hiking trails. Talking to her felt easy in a way dating never had. After a couple of months, I worked up the nerve to ask her to dinner, a real date, not sandwiches at our messy table. She said yes, and that smile made me feel like maybe I wasn't just the family pack mule after all. I kept it quiet at work. My family has a talent for ruining anything good that happens to me. 2 days before the date, I came back from a service call and heard Julie's real laugh, the one I thought I had earned, echoing down the hall, except it wasn't for me. She was standing way too close to Matt by the coffee station while he showed her something on his phone, doing that casual lean he thinks makes him look cool. "Hey Ryan," he called out with his fake bro voice. "Just showing Julie some pics from my kayaking trip last weekend." Kayaking? Matt thinks getting wet is a personal attack. This is the guy who once asked if fish were included with river water. Since when does he kayak? "These are stunning," Julie said, eyes still on his screen. "I've always wanted to try it. You should totally come with me sometime," Matt replied with his trademark grin. "I'm out there almost every weekend when it's nice." Super peaceful, she lit up. "That would be amazing." Then she noticed me and gave a polite coworker smile. "Ryan, I had no idea your brother was so into the outdoors." "Yeah, me neither." The next day she pulled me aside in the break room. My heart jumped, hoping the Matt thing was nothing. "About Friday," she started, and I already knew. "I'm really sorry, something came up. Can we rain check?" Translation. "Someone better asked." I forced a shrug. "No problem, maybe another time." "For sure," she said, but her eyes said never. Office gossip confirmed it the next day. Matt and Julie had their first official date that same Friday, at the exact Thai place I had chosen for us. The following weeks were torture. Matt strutting around like he'd won the lottery, Julie blushing every time he walked past her desk, whispers that stopped the second I entered a room, Matt casually dropping in a staff meeting that he and Julie had the best pad thai the other night. I felt like garbage. Every time I tried to build something that was mine, Matt swooped in and took it, and it only got worse. Mom found out immediately because Matt still tells her everything like he's 12. She called me bubbling with excitement. "Have you met this new girl Matthew is seeing, Julie? He says she's incredible, so accomplished, so pretty, and she works with you. She's our office manager, Mom. Isn't that perfect? Matthew says she's brilliant with systems. They have so much in common. They have nothing in common, but sure." I finally snapped and told her the truth. I asked Julie out first, she accepted, then Matt stole her. Dead silence then. "Sweetie, sometimes two people just have chemistry. Matthew has always been so good with girls. You're more intense. Not every woman wants that." Translation: "Your brother is hot and fun, you're boring and serious. Get over it." So the Matt and Julie show became official. But the worst part wasn't losing her. It was watching her slowly realize who Matt actually is while refusing to admit it. The first time he ditched her for guys' night. The time she caught him exaggerating his job title to a customer. The time she had to cover for him when he was too hungover for a Chamber of Commerce breakfast. I saw the cracks forming in her eyes, but they were already the couple, and she was in too deep to jump ship. My parents welcomed her with open arms. Mom invited her to Sunday dinner after they'd been dating 3 weeks. I nearly skipped, but Dad laid down the law. Family dinner is non-negotiable. It was exactly the nightmare I expected. Mom broke out the good china. Dad told rewritten stories that made Matt sound like a business genius. Matt played perfect son and perfect boyfriend, pulling out her chair, topping off her wine, spinning tailies of fake camping trips and volunteer work. Julie ate it up, while I sat there knowing the most adventurous thing Matt has ever done is walk to the mailbox in flip-flops. I tried to join the conversation once, mentioning a trail that Julie and I had talked about during our lunches. She immediately turned to Matt. "You were just telling me about that same spot." "Oh yeah," Matt laughed smoothly. "I'm there all the time in the summer. That dinner was 6 months ago. They've been together ever since." I focused on work and tried to let it go. A month later, Dad finally promoted me to senior operations manager after 15 years. Came with a decent raise, and most importantly, a brand new company truck, a loaded Ford F-250 perfect for job sites. He announced it in front of the whole staff. "Ryan has earned this the hard way. New title, new pay, and the new truck. Proud of you, son." For once I felt seen. Then came the next Sunday dinner. Mom's pot roast on the table, Matt's arm around Julie, Dad clears his throat for a big announcement. I braced myself. Matt and Julie shared a look. Then she held up her left hand, a massive diamond sparkling under the chandelier. "We're engaged," she said. Mom burst into happy tears. Dad practically tackled Matt with a bear hug. I sat frozen. "This is the best news," Dad boomed. "My boy is building his own family." Then the gut punch. Matt, you and your fiancé are going to need a reliable vehicle more than the company does right now. That new F-250, it's your engagement present, son. Matt did his fake shocked routine. Dad, that's way too generous. I finally spoke. Dad, that truck was part of my promotion. I need it for work. Dad waved me off like I was 5 years old asking for a second dessert. Ryan, don't be selfish. Your brother is starting a family. Family comes first. Your old Chevy still runs, doesn't it? No one even glanced at me. They were too busy planning venues and talking about future grandbabies. That was the final straw. I drove home in my rattling, rust-bucket Chevy with ice-cold clarity. 15 years of loyalty, of 60-hour weeks, of missed birthdays and weddings, of building that company into what it is today. All so Matt could glide through life and take whatever he wanted, including the one girl who made me feel human, and now my truck. I got home, opened my laptop, and wrote the email. Subject line, resignation, effective immediately, Dad. After 15 years I'm done with Taylor & Sons Plumbing. This is my official notice. I'm taking my accrued vacation starting now. I will not be returning. Ryan sent. I forwarded a copy to HR and the bookkeeper with instructions about final pay and unused vacation payout. Then I turned my phone off. It exploded the second I turned it back on. Dad calling non-stop. Matt blowing up my texts with Jude WTF. Mom leaving tearful voicemails about destroying the family legacy. Even Julie called. Ryan, your dad says you quit. Please call me, I'm so confused. I ignored every single one. Dad showed up at my apartment the next morning pounding on the door. I opened it in my pajamas. What the hell is this email nonsense? He yelled. You quit on us after everything I've given you. I actually laughed. Everything you've given me, like paying me peanuts while Matt earns almost as much for taking selfies. Or promising me a truck and then handing it to him the second he gets a fiancé. That's different, Dad sputtered. Matt's starting a real family, and I'm not part of this family. I've kept this company profitable while Matt plays Instagram model. His face went purple. Don't you dare talk about your brother that way. He's the public face of this company, and I'm the backbone that makes it run. Enjoy watching Matt try to keep it afloat. I started closing the door. He stuck his boot in. Walk away from this company, and you're walking away from this family. Then bye, Dad. I slammed the door. He kept banging for a while, but eventually left. Matt tried the next day, ringing the bell, doing his fake concerned voice through the door. I threatened to call the cops, and he finally drove off. Mom's voicemails went from sad to hysterical. You're breaking your father's heart. How could you do this to us? I blocked the noise and started applying for jobs. It took less than a week to get 3 interviews and 2 offers. I accepted a position at Wilson Plumbing and Heating, a smaller but fast-growing competitor. The owner, Dave Wilson, actually respects experience and results. He put me on a 2-year partnership track. Work hard, buy in, become part owner. Something my dad never once offered. They handed me the keys to a brand new F-350 Super Duty, fully loaded, company logo on the doors. First week on the job, I drove it slowly past my parents' house just to watch the curtains twitch. Petty, maybe, cathartic, 100%. Meanwhile, back at Taylor & Sons, everything is imploding. Plumber buddies still text me updates. Week 1, Dad tried to run operations himself. Hasn't touched day-to-day scheduling in 15 years and couldn't figure out the software I built. Double-booked 3 crews and missed a priority call at the hospital, one of our biggest accounts. They're furious. Week 2. Dad put Matt in charge of everything. Matt lasted about 4 days before clients started screaming. He can't answer basic technical questions, forgets to order parts, and spends half the day on personal calls. They've already lost a $50,000 recurring contract because Matt forgot to send the renewal paperwork. Online reviews have crashed from 4.8 to 3.2. One office employee quit after Matt threw her under the bus for his own mistake. Invoices are going unpaid, trucks are breaking down with no maintenance schedule, and Dad just took out a high-interest loan to make payroll. A company that was solidly profitable a month ago is now bleeding cash. Julie is staying until 9 p.m. trying to hold the office together, but she's not an operations manager. She can't dispatch crews or price large jobs. Mom's texts have gone from guilt trips to outright panic. Dad's working 16-hour days and looks 10 years older. Matt is in over his head and clients hate him. Still no actual apology, just desperation disguised as concern. Dad left one drunk voicemail. We were fine before all your fancy systems, and we'll be fine after you're gone. You're not as important as you think. Sure, Dad, that's why everything is on fire. Matt's texts went from "we miss you bro" to "what's the scheduling password" to outright begging for help on specific jobs. Julie sent one email, a long apology for how things happened between her and Matt, ending with, "If you have time to walk me through the new dispatching module, that would really help the team." I deleted it. Matt even texted asking me to look at his truck because it was making a weird noise. The truck that was supposed to be mine. I laughed out loud and blocked his number. At Wilson, everything is different. Dave listens to my suggestions, implements them the same week, and actually thanks me. I streamlined their call-taking process, and he handed me a bonus on the spot for doing my job well. Imagine that. A week into the new job, I met Kate, an architect working on a commercial site we were servicing. Smart, funny, zero games. Shows up to dates in work boots and jeans, talks hockey or building codes with the same enthusiasm, and calls me out when I'm being dumb. Third date, we hiked to a waterfall I'd been wanting to see for years. I showed her the desperate text chain from my family, and she just shook her head. They had a diamond and treated it like dirt. Their loss. Then she kissed me, and I forgot Taylor and Sons existed for an entire afternoon. This past weekend, Kate and I were at the big box hardware store picking tile for my master bath remodel when we ran straight into Matt and Julie in the parking lot. Kate grabbed my hand tighter. Julie spotted us first. "Ryan, hey," she called, trying to sound casual. Matt looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him. "Hey," I answered flatly. Julie's gaze flicked to Kate, then to our intertwined fingers. "How have you been?" "Never better," I said honestly. "This is Kate. Kate, this is Julie and my brother Matt." Kate gave them her easy smile and firm handshake. "Nice to meet you both. I've heard a lot." Matt shifted uncomfortably. Julie tried small talk. "Stocking up on supplies, redoing Ryan's bathroom," Kate answered. "I'm the architect, so I'm handling design and making sure he doesn't pick ugly tile." "Architect," Julie repeated, looking smaller somehow. "That's impressive." I couldn't resist. "Yeah, and I'm part owner track at my new company now. Great bosses, great truck, great life." They were actually at the store because the engagement gift, F-250, was making a grinding noise, and Matt had no idea what to do. Kate squeezed my hand. "Time to go." As we walked away, Julie asked quietly, "Can I talk to you for a second?" Kate raised an eyebrow at me. I nodded. Julie looked exhausted. "The wedding, we've put things on hold. And the business is struggling without you. They've hired 2 people to replace you and it's still not enough. Matt is different now, overwhelmed." "Yeah," I said. "Having to work for the first time in his life will do that." She twisted her ring finger. "There now," I noticed. "I'm really sorry for how everything happened with us." I almost laughed, but not meanly. "Julie, you weren't the problem. You were just the clearest example of a family that never saw my worth. The truck was simply the last insult I was willing to take." She glanced back at Kate waiting by the cart. "She seems amazing. You look happy." "I am," I said. "She sees me." "Actually sees me." Julie nodded slowly, like something finally clicked. "On the drive home, Mom called." I answered. "Big mistake." She launched straight into begging. "Dad's exhausted. Matt's drowning. Sunday dinners feel empty. Please come talk. We can fix this." I cut her off. "I'm busy every Sunday from now on." Kate, listening on speaker, smirked. "Want me to say I told you so, or should we just enjoy the karma?" "Karma," I said, grinning. Later that night, curled up on the couch watching a murder documentary, Kate asked, "Any part of you ever wants to go back and save them?" "Not even a little," I answered without hesitation. She kissed my temple. "Good. I don't know what will happen to Taylor and Sons Plumbing. Maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe they'll go under. Honestly, not my circus, not my monkeys anymore. What I do know is this. Sometimes the only way to be valued is to walk away from the people who refuse to value you, especially when those people share your last name." It took me 15 years, 1 stolen truck, and watching my little brother crash the company I built to finally learn that lesson. Better late than never. So, what do you think about everything that went down? Was I right to leave, or do you see it differently? Drop your thoughts below. I actually read them all. And if this story hit home, smash that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss the next one. See you in the next video.